Very good morning, friends. Today, in this e-learning session, we will be discussing our last topic of plant embryology, and that is apomixis. Now, friends, the normal sexual process is known as amphimixis. Amphi means true, and mixis means mixing. As we have read till now, that how a male gametophyte is produced, how a female gametophyte is produced, how they fuse together to make a diploid zygote. Now, we can say that in any sexual process, two processes takes place. First was the meiosis, which leads to the development of male and female gametophyte, and the second important phenomena was the phenomena of process of fertilization, where these two gametes they fuse to make a diploid zygote. This zygote then form a embryo. Apomixis is an asexual means of plant reproduction in which either meiosis or fertilization or both are absent, or we can say in simple words, it is a substitution of a normal sexual process, that is amphimixis. Now, this term was given by Winkler in 1906. We can define it as the development of seed without fertilization, or it does not involve the sexual fusion for development of seed, or we can say it is any process of multiplication in which meiosis and fertilization or both they do not occur. Some of the differences I would like to tell you before starting this topic between apomixis and amphimixis.
Cool.
Now, differentiating between apomixis and amphimixis, the term apomixis was given by Winkler in 1906, whereas the term amphimixis was given by Weismann in 1891. Apomixis does not involve fusion of sexual gametes, whereas amphimixis involves fusion of male and female gametes. There is no gene combination or gene flow because there is no sexual fusion, but here it is there. In amphimixis, gene combination or gene flow takes place. In apomixis, no segregation is observed, but here it is observed. Apomixis is used for the development of inbred lines. Amphimixis is not. As we all know, apomixis is an asexual means of plant multiplication. Amphimixis is no doubt a sexual means of plant multiplication. In this, conservation of heterosis or hybrid vigor is possible, while here in case of amphimixis it's not possible.
Ready.
Apomixis can be of various types like parthenogenesis, apogamy, apospory, adventive embryony, whereas the apophysis can be of two types only, autogamy or allogamy. So these are some of the differences between the apomixis and amphimixis. Now coming to the apomixis and its various types.
Ready.
Now first of all, coming to apomixis, we all know that it is an asexual means of plant reproduction. It is found in many plant species and it is more common in fruit crops, than field crops. In some plants, reproduction only takes place by means of apomixis, and these are known as obligate apomix. That is, the reproduction is only by means of apomixis. Sometimes, in addition to the normal sexual reproduction, apomixis also takes place. Now this is known as facultative apomixis. It does not permit segregation, or we can say no segregation, as therefore this apomixis is used in maintaining the purity of the mother plant. Since it does not involve fusion of male and female gametes, it does not permit recombination. This recombination, it is a source of diversity or variation. So the population that we get from these apomix is not variable. It does not provide gene flow. Which we can say that there is no combination of genes from various sources. So that is not possible in case of apomix. We can develop pure lines because of above these factors. We get pure lines. We get in fact we get rapid development of these pure lines. Haploid parthenogenesis. We can maintain superior genotypes by the process of apomixis. It is genetically controlled. Now, this apomixis has been reported in more than 300 plants of 35 families, and we can find a number of apomixis on the basis of a table of this. First, first column will be the basis of classification, types of apomixis and their brief description. Now, the first basis of classification for apomix is the type of cell involved, and in this we find types of apomixes, 4 types: parthenogenesis, apogamy, apospore, and adventive embryony. The second type of apomix is on the basis of their occurrence, and here we find 2 types of apomixes: recurrent apomixes and non-recurrent apomixes. The third type of apomix that we found, or the third basis of classification, is on the frequency of the apomixes. It may be of 2 types: obligate and facultative apomix. Now, before starting with different types of apomixes, I would like to brief you about one more term, that is vegetative apomixes, when the plant multiplies with the help of propagules. Now, what are these propagules? These are bulbs or tubers or vegetably propagating structures by which the plant, it propagates, it multiplies, and these structures are known as propagules. Now, coming to the second definition, that is agamospermy. In agamospermy, the plant multiplies with the help of seed, but these seeds are not formed by the process of meiosis and fertilization. And the various types of apomixes that we discussed just before this, they come in this category.
Go.
Now, starting with parthenogenesis. Friends, this term was given by Owen in 1849, and it is the development of embryo from the egg cell without fertilization. This is a term that we use mostly in case of animals, and it has been reported in a number of crop plants like hordeum, sorghum, cotton, etc. Now, coming to some other aspects of parthenogenesis, it is of 2 types: haploid parthenogenesis and diploid parthenogenesis. When the development of embryo takes place from the haploid egg cell, it is known as haploid parthenogenesis, and when the embryo develops from a diploid embryo sac, we call it as diploid parthenogenesis. The haploid is reported in case of hordeum, Solanum nigrum, and some other plant species. These are very useful in developing inbred or pure lines. Now, coming to the diploid parthenogenesis, sometimes this embryo sac, it develops without reduction division, and in that case all the structures present inside the embryo sac are no doubt diploid in nature, and they give rise to diploid embryos. It is reported in grasses like Taraxacum, and it is mostly used in conserving heterosis. Now coming to the causes of parthenogenesis, the first cause may be inability of pollen tube to discharge its content inside the embryo sac. There is insufficient attraction between the male and female gametes. The sperm, it degenerates soon. In plants, when the style is very long, like this, style is very long, it is sclerotic gametes in nature. Sclerotic gametes are dead, made up of dead cells. The pollen tube may be short in size, incapable to reach to embryo sac, or it is growing with a very slow rate of pollen tube. Self or cross incompatibility. Or the stimulation of pollination in absence of pollen tube. So these are some of the factors which are the main cause of parthenogenesis. Friends, there are a number of types of apomixis that we will discuss in our next lecture. In this lecture, we discussed about apomixis, various types of apomixis, and we discussed one of the apomictic forms, that is parthenogenesis. Now other forms of apomixis like apogamy, apospory, we will discuss in our next lecture. Thank you.